This is LOA Recon with Good Vibe Coach Jeanette Ma, where we explore the ins and outs of conscious creation to manifest our favorite dreams come true. Let's have some fun together. Welcome and thank you for joining me for another episode. Hey, I was thinking about us while watching a scene from the Dark Wizard documentary about climber Dean Potter. If you haven't seen it and you want to and you don't already know how it ends, well, I'm not going to spoil it for you. They've only released 2 episodes so far. If you follow sports news, you probably know how it ends. But I didn't know the full story before starting the series, so as I'm watching it, a lot of it is new to me. Except for the incident in Moab, I do remember a big controversy about someone climbing Delicate Arch. I just didn't know it was this guy. Anyway, here's why I was thinking about us at one point during the show. I got to give you a little context first. So Dean Potter, he's been in the spotlight for a while as a phenomenal climber. He's a name that those in the sport recognize, many look up to. In fact, he's had big sponsorships, including the mother of all sponsorships from Patagonia. So this guy is at the top of not just his game, but the game. I mean, he's on the covers, he's making news, although he did lose his sponsorship with Patagonia after that Moab stunt. It might have even cost him his marriage, too, because they not only pulled the money from him, but from his wife as well, even though she had nothing to do with it. And that created some friction in the relationship that it didn't seem like he handled very well. Anyway, in fact, it seemed like he wasn't handling a lot of challenges very well, because pretty soon, time passes, he gets older, and a new up-and-comer is on the scene. And this guy's story I actually had heard before. Alex, Honnold, I think maybe is how you say his name. He's the guy from Free Solo. If you have not seen that documentary, oh my gosh, that is the kind of show that makes an impression. Alex makes an impression. So here's Dean Potter. He's got an ego that really doesn't take kindly to someone else being in the spotlight the way he's used to being, and he starts responding the way a lot of people would when their status is being threatened. He started doing things to prove that he's the one who should be on the covers and traveling with the film crew and getting the corporate money. So he starts these climbs, these stunts to one-up Alex. Although it wasn't just Alex, there was another guy that he kept trying to race. There was a climb called Hong Kong Fooey. It just became clear that Dean's drive to climb, it was fueled by a variety of things. All right, that takes us to this climb that he's doing on the Eiger in Switzerland. Oh, you probably have seen pictures of this mountain before. Whoa, I mean, mountain isn't the right word. Like a cliff face. This doesn't look like something that should be climbed at all. But Dean's going to do it. And he wanted to do something no one else had done, that no one else could do. Because Dean's not just a free solo climber. He was also a base jumper and a highliner. I mean, that guy, wow. So he wanted to combine his climbing abilities with base jumping on the Eiger. And he got a little money from someone for a documentary, but he wanted to keep his crew light. So he just invited his buddy. I think this guy's name was Jim Hurst. He's the guy who gave me the line that I loved so much. So Jim's a climber as well, but also a videographer. And the plan was to climb up this wicked part of the mountain. I feel silly calling it a mountain. That thing it was a cliff. And then Dean was supposed to jump off and parachute down. But it was a pretty tricky thing, so he needed to practice for a while first, except he wasn't getting his practice time in because the weather turned on them. And it was clear he needed the practice. He wasn't just going to bang this out. He really needed the practice. It was super tricky. But after weeks of waiting for the weather to clear, Dean just got impatient and said, let's do it. And his climbing buddy and videographer Jim said to us in the interview that it didn't feel right to him. It just didn't feel right. But he's just there to film, and Dean's not exactly a guy who's going to take advice from anyone. So off they went, and it wasn't going great. The clouds started rolling in after they started climbing, which meant that Dean couldn't jump off because you have to be able to see where you're going, and there was no seeing anything with the clouds that rolled in. And he missed this really tricky sequence on the climb. He actually got stuck and had to have his buddy rescue him. That guy would have been in big trouble if Jim hadn't been able to lower a rope and help him out. And you know what? You don't have to be a climber to watch what was going on and realize that it really wasn't smart. They did not seem to be making healthy decisions out there. which makes you wonder, well, like, what is this really about? Is he this intent on proving that he's a better climber than Alex? Or is he trying to prove this to his wife? I don't know if they were still married or separated or what, but she had gone off to Argentina with some other guy and done a bunch of technical climbs very well. I don't think that sat super well with him. So maybe he was just trying to get her attention again. Maybe he was feeling pressure from his sponsors to deliver on the movie that they were funding. And maybe he just wanted to be on the covers again, be in the limelight. It's also possible the guy really just had a death wish. But here's why I'm sharing this story with you. After the film guy had to rescue Dean with a rope, the videographer said to Dean, the climber, "Tell me if I'm wrong, but nothing has felt right about this from the very beginning of this day." And Dean got so mad he threw a rock at the guy, and his buddy said to him, "Look, if you are doing this for any reason other than you wanting to do this climb, you're an absolute freaking idiot." Except he didn't say freaking. That's the part I loved so much. If you are doing this for any other reason other than you wanting to do this climb, you're an idiot. Okay, we don't need to be calling ourselves idiots, but it is worth asking ourselves what is driving this. I think his buddy knew that Dean was driven by something other than inspiration. Like, it wasn't out of love for climbing that they were out on the mountain that day. It was to prove something or earn something or something other than his higher self saying, "Hey, let's go climb today." And it isn't so much that Dean's story matters, but I think there's a good lesson for us as conscious creators to remember that if what we are doing is for any reason other than it's what we most want to be doing, then we're the freaking idiots because we know the role of inspiration when it comes to getting what we want. Look, I would never use derogatory language like that in talking about us, but we know that struggle and sacrifice aren't required in order to have what we want. It's more than that even. Struggle and sacrifice actively block our way. Anytime we're doing something we don't enjoy, something that isn't our most favorite thing to be doing, we're hindering the arrival of our favorite dreams come true. Which means that, look, when we're struggling through a diet or a workout in order to get healthy, that's not actually helping. Or when we're forcing ourselves to finish our PhD or take some training or certification because we think that's part of the path to get where we want, but it isn't what we actually want to do, it's not taking us where we want to go anytime we're not having a good time. Remember Abraham? Unhappy journeys don't have happy endings. And everything that we want is downstream, so there is no paddling required because the stream will take us there. All we have to do is not resist. And yet, sometimes what we're doing in a day is an experience of resistance. We do it because we think we have to, or because someone expects us to. Maybe someone who's paying our wages, or someone who's wearing a ring that we gave them, or someone whose roof we live under. Or we do it because we believe there are going to be serious ramifications if we don't, or because we said we would. A lot of gremlin noise that keeps us from honoring our inner wisdom about the best path forward. The best path forward is the most enjoyable path. That's the way to dreams come true, and our inner guidance knows that way. All we have to do is listen to it. It's going to call us forward via our joy or our inspiration or whatever sounds better, our preference. That's our inner guidance saying, this way to dreams come true. Because we know we only ever experience what we vibrate. That's why we can't suffer our way to success. Not genuine success anyway, the kind you actually enjoy. I mean, look, in my opinion, if you're not enjoying it, it's not success. You could have all the money, all the love, all the fame, recognition, but if you're not happy, that's not success. This is why I loved Jim's statement to Dean so much. If you are doing this climb for any reason other than you wanting to do this climb, you're an absolute idiot. I know there's a nicer way to say that. I'm not suggesting this be our new mantra, but what I love is the strength of the idea. In fact, don't motorcycle riders have a similar creed? Like, don't they say you can't go riding in a bad mood? Like, bad vibrations and bikes. You do not want those two things mixing together. It's not good. I know some people actually use riding their bike as therapy for their bad mood, but the ones that I hung out with always practiced, you got to be in a right frame of mind to get on a bike. All of this is leading up to my question to you today. What are you investing your energy in lately? Or another way of asking that is, what are you doing today? Is it what you most want to do? Is it what you feel called to above all else? If not, let's remember what's true for climbers and motorcycle riders. It's also true for us as conscious creators. We know the power of joy. We understand that our higher self knows the best way to everything that we want, and that it is calling us there every moment of the day via our inspiration. Whatever feels better, that's the way forward. So every time we choose what feels better in thought and action, we're in service to our favorite dreams and desires. I think that is a cool thing to remember and an even more powerful thing to practice. Here's to practicing it together. I hope you got some inspiration from this. Thanks for listening, everyone, and happy manifesting.